Oh, let's try it again. Barber unscripted, unedited, and unrehearsed. So here we go. Today, good evening, good evening, good evening. It's August 25th, 2021. I'm Richard Lewis Brown, Local 1000 President. As you know, 8 and 25 is 33. It's a good number. Tonight we have a special guest, UAW 2350 President Joyce Thomas Villaranga. She's going to say a few words. Before we get started, let me say this to you. August 27th, 2021, 10 to 1 p.m., downtown Sacramento, the state capitol, we're having a CCC closure and union rights protest. I'm going to say it for you again, August 27th, 2021, this Friday from 10 to 1, downtown Sacramento, on the west side of the capitol. We're going to be there. The CCC closure and union rights protest. And when the excitement dies down, wrong answer. Oh no, we're gonna keep the party going because we know on Sunday, August 29th at 1 p.m., down here at headquarters, Local 1000, we have our new Local 1000 VP of Bargaining, Irene Green. Let me say it for you again, August 29th, 1 p.m. downtown here at headquarters, Local 1000, 1808 14th Street. The new VP of Bargaining, Irene Green. She's won it again for a second time. Congratulations, Irene. We're really, really excited for you. Now, I'm talking as fast as I can, as clearly as I can. We're going to let the UAW 2350 president talk. She has some words that she would like to express. If you're wondering who is UAW 2350, that's the rank and file of Local 1000 that does all this work for this great union. I'm gonna say it for you again, because oftentimes they go unrecognized, disrespected, underappreciated, undervalued. You know what time it is. UAW 2350. Joyce, take it over.
Well, thank you.
All right.
So as he said, I'm Joyce Thomas Villaranga. I'm the president of UAW 2350. I believe this is my third term. We just recently were bargaining with Local 1000 for our contract. We entered into a TA with a 3-year contract. Those representing the UAW team was Ajamu Umi, he's the chair. Alan Goldstein, he's also our executive VP. Brian Hober, Brian Polgis, Felicia Hernandez, she also took notes for us, and Roger White. And we just wanted to thank you, Richard Lewis Brown. We wanted to thank Jason Jasmine,
right,
the chief negotiator, Ann Giese, the chief counsel, and Donna Snodgrass, chief of staff, as well as the rest of your team, the entire management team. And we got to give a special thank you to Michelle Gardner.
Absolutely.
She facilitated the Zoom so our members could observe throughout the process, and we do appreciate that. So I've been on staff since 2009, April, and I served on 3 bargaining teams. So this is the first time that I felt that we were actually bargaining in good faith. Proposals and counter proposals were actually passed back and forth, as opposed to what we usually get was the rejected with no counter proposals. And when that happens, basically you're forced to bargain against yourself. Not a good feeling for a union. From 2006 to 2012, we did not receive any general salary increases. No. So we went 6 years with no increases. In 2012, we did receive a general salary increase of 3%, but we also lost our retiree healthcare, which is a core union value, and our step increases were reduced from 5% to 4%. So basically, if you were at the top step, by the ratification of the contract, you basically did not get anything because the GSI has become a wash unless you were at the top. We did not receive another salary increase until 2016. So it took another 4 years. We got a 3% increase, but then we lost our 3% 401k match. Again, basically making that 3% raise a wash. In 2017, we did receive a 4% salary increase. In 2018, a 2% salary increase, and in 2019, a 2% salary increase. There have been no other raises. Now, we did receive signing bonuses, so I'm going to be transparent with that. However, those are one-time deals, and they are taxed at 40%. I just want everybody to know the turnover rate is really high with the staff here. It's actually extremely high. And there's two main reasons that the staff tell us that they leave. It's salaries and treatment of people. We've proposed over at least the last 3 contracts that I've been on the team, we proposed anti-bullying language in the contract as well as telework language. Both of them were always denied. In fact, when COVID first hit, we were denied the opportunity to telework. The only reason we are allowed to telework is because the mayors and the governor ordered that non-essential employees stay home. So that's why we were allowed to telework. As local union president, I interact with many other unions. And when asked why they don't apply to fill some of the vacancies, because there's a lot of vacancies, again, I hear the same comments: salaries and treatment of people. I just want everybody to know we didn't get everything we want, that we needed to make our salaries competitive with the other unions. However, we believe we're moving in the right direction for the first time since 2006, and we just wanted to thank you and the bargaining team, and I want to thank my bargaining team that worked tirelessly to get us here.
Joyce, it's a true pleasure.
Thank you.
This was not scripted. You know, I don't do scripted videos. And I didn't know until a few minutes ago that she wanted to do this.
Correct.
I am very happy that UAW 2350 has a new, well, once we approve it, they'll have a new contract. I don't want to speak too fast. I'm very excited about this. This gives me a great opportunity to work with the board. You know, I know a lot of people think that, I hate the entire board. And let me say this to you through God, through Jesus Christ. I don't hate anyone. I don't hate the entire board. We may have our personal differences. And, we all have opinions about things. So this is a great time for myself and the board to work together to get this done in a very quick fashion, because their current contract expires on September 30th. Now, a lot of people think that our current contract expires next year too, but it doesn't. Our current contract goes all the way into June 30th, 2023. So we have ample time to have our S back, get our teams together to start getting ready for the next contract. So we are thinking ahead. We're not doing anything, just sitting around wasting people's resources, wasting their money. That we're not doing. As you know, I haven't signed for the salary stipend. I'm not taking a salary stipend. Neither is Annika Walls. Neither is David Jimenez. I have not signed for any salary stipend for the statewide officers. All right, enough of that. Again, August 27th, this Friday, 10 to 1 on the west side of the Capitol, we're having our CCC closure and union rights protest. What does that really mean? It's about respect. Respect state employees, respect our contract, respect our freedom. It's about respect. And usually with respect, the money follows. That's what this is really about. It's about respect, fighting for everyone equally for Local 1000. We're not trying to give special favor to those in Lansing County, even though that's a very special situation. We're trying to show respect for everyone in our union. All right, so let's get started here. And our first caller is David. Good evening, David. Welcome to Local 1000 Listens to You.
Hello? Hello?
Hi, David.
Okay. All right. I have a question. It's regarding the COPE. I contribute to COPE, and I wanted to know.
Good evening, David.
Hello? Hello?
Okay, so David, are you still there? Okay, so if David comes back, we'll try to go back to him. So the next person is our DLC president. Oh gosh, 769, Richard Wake. How are you, Richard?
Move all this stuff out of the way.
Good evening, Richard.
Can you hear me? Just a second.
So we're having some difficulties. Give us one moment.
Okay, can you hear me now?
So is that David?
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Is that David or is that Richard?
No, that's Richard Wake. I'm speaking. Mr. Matranga is also unmuted too.
Okay, so go
Okay,
ahead,
can-
Richard. How are you this evening?
Okay, great. Okay, so, yeah, Richard Wade, DLC 767 President. So President Brown, a few weeks ago, I challenged you to a one-on-one debate on the issues regarding that are facing the union. You said that you were going to set this up. I'm agreeable to still doing this, but I thought you were agreeable to this, and I'm still waiting. And many other people want to see this as well. So are we going to do this debate or not? That's the question I have for you tonight. I want to be able to debate you on the issues that are facing the union. We have substantial disagreements on many, many things
Right.
that are happening here. And I think that other viewpoints need to be brought forth here. I don't think we should be taking, I don't want to be involved in taking other people's personal questions, but I'm ready to do it. Let's do it. Whenever you want, get it going, get a moderator. Let's do this live on Facebook. We'll take any questions, members or non-members or anybody from the public wants to answer about what's going on with the union. And we can answer those questions. We can do it for an hour and a half, 2 hours, however long you want to do it, we can do it. Let's do it. I'm tired of waiting, okay? So I'm respectfully asking you to respond. Are you going to do this or not?
So, Richard, I'm so glad you called in. And I think a lot of people have been waiting for this. I did agree to do a debate with you, and I'm still going to. And I can't tell you the exact date and the time, and I don't need a moderator. But I respect the fact that you have called in and asked me to do a debate like you did, I think it's a few weeks ago. As you know, August 27th, 2021, at 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., we're having the CCC closure and the union rights protest rally. So that would be a great time for you to come down in person and we could talk about it in person live on camera. I think that would be the really best time because I can stay focused on fighting for people's jobs in the union while also addressing you as well. So if you have time to come down in the heat, it's going to be kind of warm, but I'll be there at the Capitol on the west side. And then if you don't have time to do that, Irene Green's swearing in is this Sunday, August 29th at 1 p.m. So if you want to come down to the union and we run a camera and you can ask me questions or whatever, we can have a conversation, that's fine. But I don't want you to think that I'm running from you because, everyone knows I don't run from anyone. So what I'm trying to do and what I'm going to do is ensure that this union does its job. We fight for everyone equally, okay? We fight for the people in Lansing County. We ensure that the work is getting done and we're spending our money wisely. But I can do all that while also working with the board and working with you as well. So I look forward to you coming down live on Friday. Maybe you already had it planned to come down live and you're bringing some people with you. And I would suggest that you bring some people with you and let's just go live. And if the TV camera catches it and they catch you saying things, because I stand by everything I say because I believe in God through Jesus Christ. So I didn't wake up yesterday. I was created back in '69. So I accept your challenge. I'm not running from you. We will make this happen. I can promise you that. All right, so let's go to the next caller. David, how are you, David?
Hi, hello. Can you
Yes,
hear
sir.
me?
How are you, David? Sure.
Oh, great. Glad I got through. My question is, I contribute to COPE. I need to know, is that money being forwarded to the statewide board, SEIU?
That's a great question, David. Your COPE money goes to international in DC.
Okay, great. That's all I needed to know. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're very welcome, sir.
That was my question.
Yes, sir. Okay, so the next caller, Kimberly. Good evening, Kimberly. How are you?
Good evening.
Good evening, Kimberly.
Hi, thank you so much for taking my call.
Welcome.
I have two questions. The first is related to SB 95, which provides supplemental paid sick leave in the form of up to 80 hours of ATO for COVID-related or COVID vaccine-related illness. That bill was chaptered on March 19th of 2021, which was the time when, the vaccines were coming out and I think the forecast ahead was that COVID-related illnesses would be declining pretty rapidly. It was actually retroactive to January 1st, but it's set to expire on September 30th. And given the rise in COVID that we're seeing now with the new Delta variant, I'm wondering if there's an opportunity to extend that expiration date. I know that SEIU doesn't have the authority to extend it, but I'd like to know if SEIU is in discussions with anybody on this issue. So that's my
Kimberly?
first question. My second question is, actually, it's very timely that the president of UAW 2350 was on the call. Joyce, I didn't get her last name, but I really appreciated her joining and sharing insight about their previous bargaining efforts and what they've been experiencing. And I say it's timely because well, I could be misunderstanding this, but is UAW 2350, is that the union that represents our representatives that work at the MRC? I'm guessing about that. So, okay. So it is actually tied in with my second question. I noticed that the SEIU website is currently advertising for the position of senior union representative / organizer. And I noticed that there are 3 positions open in the contracts department, but only 1 position open in the URC. It's my understanding that the representatives in the URC are the folks who work to investigate workplace concerns and represent employees in grievances, but that they're spread so thin to, really adequately address all of the issues that arise throughout the state. And it's been that way for quite some time. I know you had, no control over it, but I'm wondering if there's a plan to hire more than just one of these positions. And if so, what does that timeline look like?
Okay, Kim, you've asked 2 questions. I'm gonna go to the first question, the 80 hours COVID, about getting that extended. That's a great idea. And I think we need to have a discussion with the state of California about doing that. So let's make sure that we can on that. All right, the second one about the vacancies advertised on our website. As you know, Kim, or maybe you don't know, we're doing a restructure of jobs for our union. And so this restructure should happen no later than October 1st. And I think a lot of these concerns that you have will be solved with this restructure. All right, let's move on to the next caller. Frank Askin. Good evening, Frank.
Richard Brown, how's it going, Mr. President?
I'm doing just great now. I'm talking to you. Go ahead, sir.
Yes, I'm doing phenomenal myself, Mr. President. Just a quick question. With this rally on Friday, how are you paying for it? Are you using COPE funds?
So, Frank, that's a great question. We don't use COPE funds because the money that's voluntarily given to COPE through a person's membership application, that goes to International in DC. So we're not using COPE funds, but I'm glad you asked that question. All right, next caller, Michael Gus.
Hi, Mr. President. Thank you for the time. I want to, instead of listening to you tonight, state that I listened to my union, the duly elected board of directors of my union, and I voted no on the recall. And that is the official position of this union and this local and this international. And I voted no, and any officer or staff member that speaks on behalf of the union that implies any support for any position other than no on the recall is violating the instructions of the duly elected board of this union. And our position our position as a union is to vote no on the recall. And yes, there may be problems with Governor Newsom, but you know what? The leading opponent of him in the recall wants state workers' wages to be $0 an hour. And you think you have it played politically, Mr. President. I have this question for you. After your little protest on the 27th, which is going to be perceived as for the recall, how are you going to bargain with the governor? Because it doesn't seem to me like the best interest of me or the best interest of this union that has endorsed a position contrary to your personal belief. And you can disagree with that personally, but I'm asking you to honor the board of directors' decision and to not do anything to undermine the decision that they made on that very important question. Thank you.
So, Michael Gus, I'm glad you called in. I'm in the spirit this evening. Well, I'm in the spirit. Michael Gus is bringing up the fact that before they could swear me in on June 27th, the board had an emergency board meeting so that they could give $1 million to SEIU State Council to help this current governor fight his recall. And he also took the official position that Local 1000 opposes the recall. So Michael Gus is 1000% correct. 1000%. Michael also now talks about this little protest, which I find a little disrespectful. Because I thought everybody in our union had a voice. And so even though the union has taken this official position that I've never gone against, in fact, on videos, I said, the vote of the board, I must respect. Now, even though the vote of the board, they didn't go and ask the membership about that. They didn't do a survey. They didn't do that part. But that's okay. Praise God through Jesus Christ. Oh, I'm feeling good tonight. Oh, I'm feeling good. Because the truth will come out. And so now he states that, Michael states that my personal feelings about Gavin Newsom. Well, that's very interesting because I voted for Gavin in 2018. Praise God again. God's good. God's good every day, all day long. And I'm going to keep praising him through Jesus Christ. I voted for Gavin Newsom. I sure did. I put my vote up on Facebook, but people said it wasn't my vote. That's funny that when I put up my vote for Gavin Newsom in 2018, they were quick to dismiss me. Interesting. When I put up my vaccination card to show that I want to have a safe country, they didn't want to believe that either. So I don't know, Michael, when I show proof of what I'm doing, it appears that no one wants to believe me. I've never questioned the union about this official position once I became president. But I want everyone to hear what he said, because what he says is true. But to call the people from Lassen County little people, a little protest, oh boy, I'm gonna stay calm. I'm gonna stay calm. Don't worry, you're here for a reason. All right, you know what, Michael Gus, why don't you come on down Friday and meet the people from Lassen County and tell them that. In fact, I want you to bring Richard Wake with you too. Yeah, y'all come on down with your protesters and them folks from Lassen County, because they're not all coming on buses. Some of them are coming in their pickup trucks. Pickup trucks. They believe in the Second Amendment. They believe in freedom of speech. Now come on down and tell them that. I want you to tell them that the Local 1000 president who's fighting for them, because they're not little people, I want you to tell them that same thing you just told me, with that same intensity and that same passion. Oh, praise God. Woo, let me go. All right, next caller, Susanna Miranda. All right. I'm feeling it. Come on, let's talk. Susanna, come on.
Oh, yes. I'm Miranda. I work at
Oh, yes,
CCWA.
ma'am.
It's
Okay.
Can you hear me? Can you
Yes,
hear
ma'am.
me? I'm Susanna
yes, ma'am.
Miranda. I work at CCWF. It's 770 Union Bargaining 20. Yeah, I have a
Yes.
question. You're right. Yeah, that's true. For our country, we want the safe. We want everybody to get vaccinated, and we have everybody to keep them safe. Yeah, but the man he was talking on, I know he was disrespectful. Yeah, that's the problem. Yeah, and I think I did vote it too for Newsom. Yeah, I don't have no issues, but the problem I have an issue, do you know, are they still negotiating? I know, I'm not sure if it's are they still negotiating over hazard pay? A hazard pay, a COVID pay? Or what's going on with that
Yes.
hazard pay?
So, Susanna, I'm glad you brought that up.
Yes. Yes.
Um,
Yes,
right
we
now,
worked during COVID time last year.
So, as you know, all those words mutated into one word, essential worker premium pay. And currently, the state of California is not in conversation with us because I've been trying to get a conversation about a lot of different issues. So, this issue I have not forgotten. I want you to hear me well on this tonight. We are going to still fight for that essential worker premium pay. Some of you have put your lives on the line by continuing to go to work. And some of you have been able to work from home, but you were still doing essential work. And I don't want to single out the EDD represent employees. I don't want to single them out and make them more special than someone else. I don't want to say EDD was working around the clock 6 or 7 days a week processing those unemployment claims. I'm not going to single them out. I'm not going to do that. But we are still attempting to have conversations with the state of California. Stay tuned. All right, next caller. Let me see her name. Betty Jackson Stewart. Good evening.
Good evening. How is everyone? How is the panel?
Very good.
Very good. Very good. I have a concern that Mr. Michael Gus, it may be your social construction of reality to tell people who to select in government, in politics, but it isn't everyone else's social construction of reality. So you need to check yourself. You sound very angry. Why do you people come on this call? Richard has this every Wednesday night. He puts this together for us to come on and discuss whatever we want. And when he gives us this type of liberty, you all utilize it to come on here and display your anger and your disgrace and your upset. Leave that at home. Just leave that at home and say something worthwhile on this line. Because I'm telling you now, you have no control over whom I vote for, who I play with outside, and who I select to be my friends. And you have no more control over me than you do over Richard. So save that for yourself and your family. Maybe they allow you to do that. Thank you, Richard.
Thank you very much, Betty Jackson Stewart. I can't come behind that. Okay, so we'll go to the next caller. DLC President 772, Mary Dela Cruz.
Hi, good evening, Richard. Thank you for taking my call. Betty kind of stole my thunder here, but I agree. You know, SEIU represents many members, Democrats, Republicans, Libertarians. And so even though we're one unit, SEIU, everybody does not vote the same. So to say we have to, those that don't vote a certain way are in violation of SEIU, I find that very offensive. We have to remember that as leaders, we represent all members, whether they're Republicans or Democrats or, you know, Tea Parties, and we have to respect their choices, just like Michael Gus would like us to respect his choices. That being said, I wanted to move the young lady, I believe her name was Susan, that talked about where is the essential hazard pay going. I will tell you, as of August the 5th, Richard, and today is the 24th, but between August the 5th and the 14th, we had 5 positive COVID individuals or nurses out of our district office. And we're registered nurses. We're not in a hospital, we're in an office, but we go out into the hospitals, the prisons, and all medical. We telework. The sad part about it, Richard, is we telework from home. However, we do have to go into the office occasionally to submit our paperwork and stuff. And just by that little going in, we have now today, we got an email that the 6th positive COVID since the 5th of August has now shown. So to say that, you know, I believe there's a lot of departments that are essential workers and they're getting exposed. And let me just share that the people that are getting exposed, Richard, are vaccinated. They've been vaccinated, and it's the vaccinated individuals that are getting the COVID, testing positive. So I think that's a big issue because according to OSHA, if you have 3 outbreaks positives within 14 days, that's considered an outbreak. So I guess I'm going to have to say we have a pandemic going on here in Fresno and the CDPH district office, and it's falling on deaf ears with management. Anyway, thank you for taking my call, and thank you for the great job you're doing.
Okay, Mary, thanks for the call. It appears to me that Betty Jackson Stewart and Mary Dela Cruz are both talking about respect for everyone in our union, not just dues paying members, not just people who feel a certain way. And I think that's a reflection of the great country we live in. Currently, we still have our freedom to choose. That's what we have currently in our country. And this country did not come very easily. This country was based on a fight of a lifetime. And many of us, in the last 100, 150 years have just, been included on this great idea of liberty and justice for all. This is the birds of falling. So, on Friday, it's not just about Lansing County. It's not just about enforcing our contract. It's a symbol of a larger issue about freedom and liberty. And in fact, many years ago, they didn't want unions to be created, not changed, but created, because it was giving people the freedom to fight together for wages, guaranteed wages, safe working conditions, absent from bad behaving, self-serving, egotistical supervisors, lunch breaks, overtime, pensions. And so sometimes we forget where we come from. I have not forgot where I come from or where I came from. And so a lot of times people in the union are rejecting my leadership, and they're rejecting the fact that I won with, wait for it, 33% of the vote. Today's 825, there's your number 33. And so sometimes people have a hard time respecting other people. Sometimes we don't respect other people if they don't look like us, if they don't think like us, if they don't go to the same church, the same mosque, the same temple, they don't belong to the same union, same political party. And so sometimes we lose respect for other people because we want to be heard, but yet we claim that we want to show respect to other people, but we don't, and we show it in our actions. Okay, but here at Local 1000 under my presidency, as the Local 1000 president and chief spokesman for the union and for the current upcoming contract as a lead negotiator, we're going to show respect for everybody. All right, so we spoke to Richard, we spoke to Michael. So I see a Sarah. Good evening, Sarah.
Hey, good evening. I chiming in late to the meeting here, but I just wanted to thank you for hosting this meeting to hear what the all of us want to share. And generally, as far as bargaining for some of the rights that you covered, like our wages and healthcare, I've been very happy with. However, I just want to share my feeling that liberty not in service of our community is not freedom. And I feel very strongly that we need to be supportive of all of the COVID and public health safety measures that the government is putting for us right now. I would love to go back to the office, but we can't do that until we get out of this emergency situation. So as a result, we need to support vaccinations. We need to support testing. And, those are the kinds of things I want the union advocating for: support for getting vaccinated, support for getting information, support for regular testing. And with those things, we all can come back and do our best service for the state of California. And so thank you for listening. And I strongly, strongly believe that, public health comes first. And I hope that the union represents that, because I know I don't want to die from COVID. I don't want any of my colleagues to have that risk. I don't want that risk to be in my community, and it requires a shared response.
And Sarah, I respect what you say, and I'm so glad you called in about that. And you know, this Friday, August 27th, 2021, between 10 and 1 p.m., we're going to be downtown on the west side of the Capitol, and we're going to be fighting for the people in Laskin County, and we're going to be making sure that, you know, our union rights are not violated, but we also want people to be safe. And we know that what you say is from some people, it's the gospel truth. But you know, I say the word gospel truth because, you know, my belief in a higher power may not be shared by other people. And so I have to respect those other people because I don't have the keys to the afterlife. I may think that I do, but I don't know. And so a lot of times we think that, you know, our position on something is the absolute truth and there's no other way around that. That I don't know. I think it raises a lot of questions, but I'm glad you talked about being safe because we want America to always be safe. We want our country to always be here. And we always want Local 1000 to be here. And we need everyone to be safe in the workplace. But we also don't want to, you know, by being safe, we don't want to trample over people's freedoms to make a decision about their body. So, but these are hot button issues. The most important issue, the rally on Friday, the 27th, on the west side of the Capitol. And again, we're having a swearing in for the VP of bargaining on the 29th at 1 p.m. down here at headquarters, Local 1000. So these are we have some exciting times along with some very controversial times. Let's enjoy this together. We can get through this together. Okay, the next person, Hugh Allen. Good evening, Hugh. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. My question is, since you've been elected, have you had any meetings or conversations with the governor? And if so, what kind of I don't know, vibe or attitude do you get from him towards SEIU Local 1000?
So Hugh, I'm glad you asked that question. Currently, I have not had any conversations with Governor Gavin Newsom. Now, contrary to popular belief, I do want to talk to him. And, you know, we've gone through the proper channels. And then I've had to drive to places outside of Sacramento to talk to people who have his ear. And so I'm trying everything through the front door and through the back door to speak to the governor. Now here's the thing, and I'm gonna say to everyone tonight, because I know the state of California, they watch my videos. I wouldn't be surprised if Governor Gavin Newsom gives me a call. I wouldn't be. I'm ready for the phone call. And I wouldn't be surprised if things happen here in the next few days. I just wouldn't be. I think that, you know, we can make bad decisions in life, but we can make up for those decisions. We can create a new course for our life. So a lot of times people think that I hate this governor. I don't hate anyone. I disagree with his decisions. So I look forward to speaking to the governor, hopefully very soon. And again, I'm saying this to you with full sincerity. If he does reach out to me and he asks me, keep this conversation confidential, Richard, then that's what I must do. I have spoken to other people in the state government, but those conversations have been kept confidential. So as transparent as I am, I still respect people's privacy when they ask me to keep things off record. Okay, so the next caller, Donna Kimbler. Good evening, Donna.
Hello, can you hear me?
Loud and clear, Donna.
Great. I want to thank Sarah very, very much for her comments because I'm in absolute 100% agreement with her. And I would like to say that I will not be attending your rally this weekend because I'm currently in isolation positive with COVID after working in the office at the DMV wearing my mask all day long, every single day, while other people don't. Other people who are not vaccinated don't wear their masks. And it's been said to me on the phone when I've spoken with people, well, you were always really careful. You wore your mask all the time. And I say to them, and I will say to you, and I hope that you will listen, I wore me wearing my mask protected you. And you all didn't pay me the same courtesy. And now I'm sick. So absolutely, please do not, you are not speaking for me. And I am a dues paying member because I've been a union supporter my entire life. My father was a longshoreman. You don't represent me if you are trying to advocate for people to continue this virus, putting my health, the health of my family. I have to choose between quitting a state job and my safety. That's not right. And everybody should be vaccinated if they're going to go to work and put me at risk when I'm doing the right thing and they are not. So thank you for your time. And I just want to make it really clear, because you're listening to everybody. You're not representing me if that's your approach.
Okay. And so listen, Donna, you're going to have the last word. You know, we all pray that you get through this. You know, we don't want anyone to get sick with COVID or pass away from COVID. And so we know in this great country, people have strong emotions on this issue. You know, the people in Lansing County have some strong feelings as well. And so, as you know, Donna, I took the vaccination shot. So when people say that I'm leaning towards the unvaccinated or whatever, what I'm doing is giving everybody equal respect, because I want to be given equal respect. But I understand that you have COVID. We wish you nothing but a speedy, healthy return back to work, free of COVID. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. All right, the next caller, Alfred Torres Jr.
Hello, Mr. President. How are you? Thank you.
I'm fine. How are you, sir?
Yeah, pretty good. I just have a couple of questions. I don't really mean to jump ship, and I know you mentioned this before in previous meetings. You'll be planning on meeting with Cal HR, I believe you said sometime in August 30th or the end of this week, for telework. My question really is what questions do you anticipate asking Cal HR about the telework program or policies? And then also, if you're not able to tell us what you can ask, because I know you don't like divulging your information or giving people firepower, does permanent telework look like it's going to be in our favor for the future? And that's all my questions.
So, Alfred, the telework issue. We're going to have a good conversations with Cal HR on August 30th. And hopefully all the bump chairs will join me on this conversation. I sincerely hope that. I think a lot of things will get answered, maybe not on that particular call, but in the future. And we realize that some people really want to telework from home. As you know, that's my position. 75 to 90% of people should be teleworking for the state of California. I know there's some special exceptions, the custodians, those in CDCR, those in the state hospital, and anyone else, like maybe like Caltrans, that that work around the clock. So that's going to be a great conversation. And once we talk about it, and an agreement is made, and hopefully soon, then I'm gonna be really excited to talk about this situation. I get tons of emails about telework, and we actually sent out a survey. And so, the research staff and the contracts department, I think they're still working to review that survey that got sent out. So we have the UAW 2350 president right here, sitting by my side, and people are like, why is she still sitting there? What's going on? But she's sitting by my side because I need her support. I mean, this is what it is. And so in a situation like this, we're all in this together. In fact, the UAW staff, they telework. So I'm not saying anything and doing something different with the staff here. She can verify this. That's why she's sitting
We
here.
got a telework policy, first time.
That, you know, and I don't like to, I don't say a lot. Unfortunately, the good things that I do, I'm being told that I don't talk about it enough. I think it's kind of like bragging. But a lot of good things have happened since I've taken over. I talked about the salary stipends, no salary stipends. I didn't know the UAW contract was going to be up. I honest to God, I did not know that. And so that it made things quite interesting for me. So some good things have happened, and I'm really excited about working with the state of California. I think the state of California, they know it too. So expect some things to happen here in the next few days. Okay.
And I'm gonna back out because I got phone
Oh,
calls from
okay,
members.
okay.
Thank you again, Richard.
Okay.
I really
Oh, you're very
appreciate
welcome.
you allowing me to come in here.
You're very
Say
welcome.
thank you.
You're very welcome. All right. So the next caller is Yolanda Williams. Good evening, Yolanda.
Good evening, RLB. Man,
Oh,
it's
boy.
nice to meet you. Oh, don't say, oh boy, I'm glad you in, you know? But
Okay. All right.
so calm down, calm down.
All right. Go ahead.
Anyway, I've been with the state for about 15 months, and boy, I tell you, this union is something else, okay? But anyway,
Okay.
I have a couple questions, and one of them is I guess it's not really a question, it's a statement. I feel everybody who comes to work every day during this pandemic should get premium pay. This money that came from the federal government says that for people who deal with the public, not you sitting at home. Okay, wait.
Okay.
I mean, okay. So people on the trains and they come into work every day and all that kind of stuff, and or however they get there, but they're there every day. They should get this premium pay. You should really fight for that, sir. I really, really feel you should fight for that, because the government didn't just give that money to Governor Newsom to do what he want to do with it. It's for essential workers. That's what it says. Okay. Second, the teleworker work is offered through, I mean, all of us should be able to telework, but I'm noticing it's favoritism. Who the supervisor likes is teleworking. So I don't know who all these other people out here, teleworking in and this and that, but not everybody has the opportunity because of the favoritism within the state. I'm gonna put it point blank, period.
So do you think, what do you think the favoritism is based off seniority? Is it based off of the agency? What do you think the favoritism is?
Basically who I like. If I'm the supervisor and I don't like you for whatever reason,
Right.
I have that power to do that. I can say, okay, let's sit down. Like in my situation, I sat down and talked regarding the days, because I was told to come in, and I was like, you didn't even offer me a day that I could come in, because the policy, the Cal HR policy says you can ask, you pick your day. So anyways, I picked a day. She tells me, no, you got to come in twice a week. So I give her the days I wanted to come in. Then no, you have to break that up. It has to be in the beginning of the week and the end of the week. But you didn't tell that to everybody else. So it's just like I'm saying, it's a favoritism by supervisors, this teleworking thing. And it says that all the departments can, make their own policy. So what they do is make their policy to fit them. Okay, so now the policy has changed from when I had my meeting, the policy states your job position. It depends on your job position now. Also now, receptionists or whoever, they can't telework, even though you got the capability and you got the technology. I did it for 2 weeks, and now all of a sudden I can't do it. So it is strictly, I'm telling you, it should be Cal HR should have telework policy for the entire 150 departments. All this different departments having their own, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And what else? I agree with what's her name? I think her name was Betty. Because whoever this guy is saying that we should all vote for Newsom and all this isn't about the contract. You don't represent me, partner. You don't. I vote for who I want to vote for. Point blank, period. You know what I'm saying? That's why we fought back in the day, so we could have a right to vote. You ain't gonna tell me and none of them other people I know how to vote. What else? One other thing, sir. Buses.
I'm listening.
Buses. I want to come to protest as whoever that was said little, because it ain't little when you losing your job in your whole life. That ain't little. So he needs to check yourself, like Betty said, before you wreck yourself. But anyway, buses should be given to the members somehow, because other people in Southern California probably want to come up there and be a part, but we can't. Like, you know, and the more that you get more people, that's the better, you know? And then about these union dues, and I agree with the half pay. I mean, breaking it 50%, that's great. But also, if you want unity too, if these new people come in and they become members, give them a shirt. Give them a shirt. And so they can feel a part of too. Like, and I know you don't wear the purple and gold, and that's all good, because they putting too much on that too. They really putting too much on that, because that ain't gonna pay nobody's bill because you wear purple and gold. Okay. So but solidarity is good. So if you do become a member, you know, and you know, this $60 we pay a month, I mean, come on, y'all can get a shirt and give people a shirt, so when we do rally, everybody is in unison. Okay. But I want to know what's going to happen with the telework situation and the favoritism among employees, big time, and this premium pay. Those are the two things that, and the bus or some type of way that people can get down there. Okay.
Okay, Yolanda, I got the message loud and clear. I'm going to go to the shirts. Anyone who becomes a new member, if they ask for a shirt, they should get a shirt. I think we have shirts laying around here in storage. If not, we can always order shirts. You're absolutely right. The part about the bus from Southern California, that's my fault. The staff was doing this great organizing for the rally on the 27th, and we thought we only needed buses up north, and we failed to look at the south. I apologize for that. That's my fault. As far as voting in this country, the union has opposed this recall. That's what the board did on June 2nd. Now, a lot of people said that the board did not go out to its represent employees of the different DLCs that they represent to, do a survey, because they did it so fast. So everyone has an opinion about that. But you're right. You have the right to vote the way you feel you should vote in this great country. And many of us did not have the original right to vote in this great country. So even though we're the greatest country on earth, we have some foundational character flaws. But that's okay. We still put our faith in God. We keep it moving. The telework. You're right. There should be a standardized, uniform telework policy for every state agency. You're right. And that will come up. I guarantee you, Richard Lewis Brown is going to be fighting like heck to make sure that happens for you, Yolanda, and for everyone else. For all the smart people, some of our agencies have constitutional elected officers, and they decide for their particular building or agency how they're going to run it. That's just for the smart people in case they try to say something on Facebook, because they're always saying some extra. All right. And then the essential worker premium pay. For people who are putting their life on the line, I say I salute you. I thank you. You are deserving of that essential worker premium pay. But here's the rest of the story. There are people who are working from home who may not be putting their lives on the line with the COVID, but their service to this great state, the #1 state in the nation, this leader state, is undeniably true. They are providing an invaluable service. In my mind, all 100,000 represent employees of Local 1000, and let me reach out to the other unions, to those represent employees. We're doing this amazing job for the 4th largest economy in this world. And so to those who come to work, yes, you deserve that essential worker premium pay. But I have to show respect to those who are also working from home because their service is just as valuable as yours. I'm showing respect to everyone equally. And I know that doesn't sit well with people when it comes to the essential worker premium pay, when it comes to this COVID situation, when it comes to the Lassen County CCC prison closure, which is why we're having a rally on August 27th on the west side of the Capitol from 10 to 1. And this is why I'm so excited that our new VP of bargaining is being sworn in on August 29th at 1 p.m. downtown here, Irene Green. So we have some things to be excited about, but we also have some tough times ahead of us. But we must love and respect each other. And I don't hate anybody, and I don't want no one to hate anyone else in this union because they don't do things the way you want them to do. All right, but thank you for that call, Yolanda Williams. I greatly appreciate it. We've gone through, okay, so it looks like the next caller is Karen. Karen, good evening. How are you, Karen? Hi, Karen. Okay, so we can't get Karen. So we're going to go to Ronald Rawson. Good evening, Ronald Rawson.
Hey,
Good
Richard,
evening,
how are
Ronald.
you? Did I
Oh,
mute?
No, you're good. I hear you loud and clear.
Hey, Richard, you're doing a great job. You're doing an awesome job. And I agree that our rights should be upheld and respected. And I think that, let's just keep things, those callers that are calling in and, with the negative feedback. I just don't want to see things as they've been before this election, that we get on these Wednesday calls and we're going at it. The whole thing is SEIU listens to you. That's what brings me to this call, that everybody should be heard. We don't always agree. And I agree with I'm a nurse, so I'm going to be, one of those that are pro safety and health. I think if we, whether you get the vaccine or not, you can't have your cake and eat it too. You cannot be vaccinated, then don't wear a mask and just, we're just all over the place. When my kids went to school, I had to show vaccination records. When they went to college, to a dormitory, I had to show that they were safe enough to keep other people safe. So if we're not vaccinated or whatever, let's just mask up and respect your rights, but respect other people. Somebody said it pointedly. If you decide to drink, that's your business. But if you decide to drink and get behind the wheel of a car, now you're jeopardizing everybody. So, whatever you do, that's your business or whatever. I will say this, you were saying the governor may meet with you. I will say as represented employees, I would hope he doesn't have you swear to anything anonymity, because you don't represent Richard L. Brown, you represent all of us. So whatever is discussed should be open letter to those that elected you in office and those that pay their dues and that. So, I just want us to fix whatever's wrong with this governor. We don't have to agree with him. Some support the recall, some don't. But as somebody said earlier, right now his pen decides a lot of things, whether in our favor or not. We know he screwed us in times past, so we don't have great trust, but we need to mend those bridges. I'm glad you're saying everybody can make mistakes. He's made the mistake. We should hold him accountable for that. But let's move on to where if he's got something we need to get this. I agree with the caller before me. We need our hazard pay. And if he's got it, If we got to kiss butt to get it, let's go get it. Let's go get our hazard pay and whatever else we need from this governor until he's either recalled or somebody else is elected. We got to work with him. So let's fix whatever's wrong there, invite him to the table, and let's get it done, because doing a wonderful job. We support the people in the Lansing and all of our union constituents. I will say in closing, this telework agreement, we just got off of a heffing call with the nurses, and our telework agreement expired. Most of the people that signed the telework agreement a year ago during the pandemic, it was for a year. We urged the union to go back to the table and relook at this. When we tried to fight it last year, we were told your union already agreed to it. And we couldn't believe that the union had thrown us under the bus with this stupid telework agreement that says that we're to pay for our own computer usage and Wi-Fi and everything else. We're using all of our home resources for everything. The union needs to go back and hold the state accountable and not let them rape their employees the way they're doing. So I just said all that to say, keep up the great work, and we stand behind you. But let's go back to the table. Let's get what belongs to us. Hazard pay, to the caller that said, some of us telework some of the time, but we're in facilities in the red zone in the COVID, right in the COVID. So everybody that has been a hero, they call it HEROES Act, a hero pay or hazardous pay, whatever you call it, we need that money. We need that money because we put our families on the line every time we go into COVID facilities and come out and come into the house. So have a great night. Thank you for listening.
Okay, so that's going to be our last caller. We're going to close it down short tonight. We've had a very interesting night. Everyone has strong opinions. And, my focus is on this rally on August 27th between 10 and 1. I want everyone to come down if they have the time. And, we're having the swearing in on August 29th, 1 p.m. downtown here at Local 1000 headquarters for the new VP of bargaining, Irene Green. And so we have some good things to look forward to. And even though our union, it seems like we're a hot mess, we're going to be okay. And I know a lot of people feel that, they can't accept the fact that I won the election. They can't accept the will of the voters, and people are saying things on social media, and that's fine because all these lies, it's all going to come out. All these lies and things that they're saying about me is going to come out, and slowly you're going to hear about the good things that I've done for the union so far. I won't make 60 days until Irene swears in on August 29th. Okay, so we're going to close it down. I want to thank everyone for calling in tonight. If you didn't get in tonight, we shall make sure you get in next Wednesday night. Everyone have a blessed night. I'm Richard Lewis Brown, your Local 1000 president. Tonight was an easy night. I'm very, very happy. Have a great evening.